In this episode, we talk about our fun and cute experience visiting an alpaca ranch and how that relates to staying open even when life disappoints.
I'm Sienna.
And I'm Toast.
We're partners in love, life, and music, and we've been together since 2001.
With each episode of this podcast, our goal is to help our fellow LGBT community members lift their lives to the next level. Iced coffee.
Yep. Hey everyone, this is Sienna.
And this is Toast. Welcome to the alpaca episode.
Yes, we're so excited to share with you our experience at the Alpaca Ranch versus farm. Toast corrected me earlier. Do you want to explain that? Does that need any explanation?
I think they get it.
But before we do that, well, you know what? Actually, if you don't like alpacas, we are going to be talking about more things.
Yes.
So it's not just an alpaca episode.
But who doesn't like alpacas? Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I think people don't know, like, it might not be a conscious liking on a person's part. Like, I love alpacas.
Yeah, because it's funny how animals, certain types of animals come in and out of popularity. Like sloths were a thing.
That's true.
Right? For a while. It's like, that's weird and random, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And alpacas might be one of those where it's like, oh, that's cute.
Meerkats were a thing.
Oh,
at one point.
Right. So,
yeah, but I really did think that even though I might be the more animal-y person
of the two of us,
I do feel like you pretty much came alive. Like, I feel I feel like you might have alpaca medicine. Like that might be one of your totem spirit animals.
That's one of the symptoms. That might be true. Because here's what just delighted me. When we pulled up to the ranch, there were two alpacas in a pen. Very small pen, just right there. Right in the parking lot area. And as I was still in the car, getting my bag and making sure I had everything that we'd need during the tour, my phone and putting my wallet away and all that stuff, I heard these noises.
Oh, they're so cute.
That were, I think they sounded like this. Something like that.
They did.
I heard these noises and I was just thinking, what's that? That's kind of weird. Is that somebody's car? Like, that's a weird sound. Come to realize that's the alpacas that's the noise they make.
So cute,
and
right?
that just won me over.
Yeah,
I walked up to them and they're looking at you with their big eyes and they're just going, Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not doing it very well.
No, they sound like that.
It's a very, very endearing sound.
And the whole night, even after we got back, Toast was doing that sound all night long. They're so cute. Yeah, so super cute. Okay, but before we move on into all the details about alpacas, we did want to give a quick shout out to B. Louise, who is one of our newer podcast listeners. Thank you so much for listening, B. Louise. She found our podcast on Spotify. So yay.
Yay,
Spotify. Thank you, Spotify. And we just wanted to give a shout out to B. Louise, who we know loves love like we love love. So we hope you're having a great day with you and yours. And thank you so much for messaging us. And for listening.
Yeah.
And for listening to the podcast.
It's always so nice to connect with people.
Yes. Because how many times do we really do that? I know for myself, sometimes, if I don't really know someone, but maybe I am friends with them on Instagram or whatever it might be, I might think like, oh, I would love to send them a message. But sometimes...
But then you get shy.
Oftentimes I don't.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have done it. But so when people do send us messages, it's very nice because I realize it's not so easy to just...
Right, exactly.
Send someone a message. Because so much of it is like, okay, well, what do I say? what do I, and then it's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's so easy to not to do anything.
It's so
right?
easy
It's so
to
easy to
not.
just be passive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So props to the not passive folks out there.
Yes. B. Louise included.
Yes.
I mean, she is a writer. So, it is part of her thing. So thank you for sharing.
Okay, so speaking
Yourself.
of people
Yes.
that we met, that ties into the alpaca story,
Okay.
right?
Yes, it does. Okay, so it was very cool. Oh, do you want to tell it?
No, I want you to tell it.
Okay, I'll tell it. So
The planning, right?
the whole thing with the Alpaca Ranch is that, and you know what's so interesting is that I just remembered I got that for you as a gift.
Yes.
Right? One of your birthday
That was
gifts.
part of my birthday gift, yes.
This year for Toast's birthday, I got her experiences instead of my normal present palooza of items. I got her experiences, and this was one of the experiences. And honestly, I really felt like, okay, this is kind of for me.
And that's fine
I'm
too.
buying this for me, kinda. But I know you like animals, but maybe I didn't, because maybe they are your spirit animals. But anyway, so we've had this since June, Toast's birthday month, and we kept, going, oh, we got to schedule going to the ranch. We got to schedule going to the ranch, and we kept not scheduling it, and feeling a little, like, why aren't we scheduling this? So we finally scheduled it. But what was so fantastic is that when we went on the tour, we met two incredibly kind, fun people to be around. And one of the things we discovered,
And they're from Hawaii.
is that they're from Hawaii, which many of you might know that, well, maybe you don't know, but Hawaii people will relate to whenever you meet other Hawaii people and you're not in Hawaii, it's very special.
I bet a lot of people
very
feel that
special.
way, whether you're
Whatever your
from-
hometown is, maybe.
Exactly, yeah.
So it was so nice to be out in the middle of nowhere, and we're all waiting for the tour, and everyone's there because, in general, they love animals. And so we were crowding around this, I guess their shop cat that they took very good care of, I have to say. And that's how we started chit-chatting and discovered, oh my gosh, Hawaii.
Come to find out,
Hawaii.
these guys from Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was so nice. And so anyways, how does that relate to us not scheduling this thing? There is a divine timing to life. And maybe we weren't scheduling those things, scheduling this event, this excursion, because we were waiting to have this experience with these two people.
Right.
So, so don't be so hard on yourselves.
So maybe there's no such thing as we're running behind.
Exactly.
And you have to catch up, or that, it's too late, or or the time is out of joint. Maybe not.
I know.
Maybe everything does have a divine timing. And you know what?
Yes.
You are right on time.
Exactly.
If you are trusting in that divine force.
Yeah.
If you are putting your trust and hope in that.
I agree.
I'd like to think so too.
I agree. Okay. Should we talk a little bit about, because I certainly didn't know the difference between alpacas and llamas?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to share a few things?
I don't know them. So
Okay. Well, I'm looking.
all I know is
only know them.
all I know is they're in the same family, right? The camelid family.
Oh gosh, you know more than
like
I don't know.
Include llamas and camels and alpacas and who knows what else.
Okay. I mean, I could look up that.
No, don't look that
What
up.
is that called? The
Camelid? What is that? Genus?
species?
I don't know. This is
Okay,
so
hold on,
not
let
a
me-
science podcast.
Okay, I'll look that up after this,
Okay.
but let me just do the easy part
don't look
first.
that up. Don't look it up.
Well,
Anybody
I'm
can
a geek
Google it.
and I kind of want to know.
Oh my
so,
God.
Okay, so here we go. So there are a few differences. One of them are their ears. So the alpaca has straight pointed ears. The llama has banana-shaped ears. So look at their ears. The second thing is their wool. So llamas actually have no wool that's used for garments.
Okay. And with alpacas, that's why they raise them, right? Is to have the wool for garments. And that's one thing we learned is about all like the microns, how the width of a certain animal's wool makes it more or less valuable.
And what you need to know, if you do wear animal products, is that right? Animal products. If you do wear clothing made from animals, that you might think the description as super fine means this is the finest, or that, wow, it is super fine, literally super fine, but it's not. So don't fall for that. If you want the best of the best and the softest of the softest, look for royal, and that is the softest you will get.
That's the best.
That is the best, royal. So, okay, so that. And number 3, the face. Okay, so the face of an alpaca is a lot fuzzier and woollier than a llama. And a llama's face doesn't have that much hair. A llama's face is also longer than an alpaca. So you can also look at their face. But the 4th, and probably the easiest, is the size. So a llama is just so much bigger.
Oh, that's right. And then llamas will kick more,
right?
They
kick
like
more. They're more dangerous. More feisty.
They're more dangerous. I remember when we first started the tour, one of the first things we learned at this Alpaca Ranch was that alpacas their only defense is spitting. And they will kick, but because they're smaller, I guess, they're just not very dangerous even when they do kick.
Yes.
And so this particular ranch owned 2 guard dogs, like 2 livestock dogs. And I forget what the name of the breed was. I can look it up and put it in our show notes, because I was super impressed with just the physicality and the physical presence of these dogs. I mean, they look like they were dire wolves out of Game of Thrones. They were awesome.
They were so beautiful. They were so beautiful. Okay, wait, actually, I have a few more differences. Okay. I thought it was just 5.
I'm sure there are many,
let
many
me
differences.
see. I wonder should I share? Okay, you know what? Let me just share this really quick. I'll just go down the list.
Really quick.
Okay, so another difference is their the purpose. So llamas are known to be able to carry heavy things for long distances. So they were used for that purpose. Where alpacas, on the other hand, they're all woolly, and it says here that they couldn't even carry a small child. So they're too small. Okay. Number 6 here, personality. Alpacas are very gentle and shy, while llamas are very confident and brave animals, which, to your point, they will kick and spit at you. Okay, 7, strength. Alpacas can't protect themselves and need protection, which is why they have those guard dogs. Llamas, on the other hand, can and will protect themselves and therefore often serve as herd guards for alpaca breeders. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
But can't llamas and alpacas interbreed?
Yes.
Which
so
will
that's
dilute
probably why their fur or their wool.
Right.
Okay, 8, character. Alpacas are very intelligent and can learn tricks.
Oh.
But llamas seem to be too confident and proud and arrogant for that.
It's like, I'm not going to do what you tell me. Yeah, right. Spit on you.
I know. Okay, and then the last
oh my gosh, how funny
thing here. Alpacas are 100% herd animals and need to be in a group to survive.
Yes.
While llamas are more independent-minded. Aww. I'm sorry, there's one more. This list keeps going. I'm sorry. Okay, there's really, let me just scroll. Okay, yeah, this really is the last one. Okay, llamas are known for spitting quickly. Okay. Quickly when they feel threatened.
Okay. Fast spit.
Where alpacas are much more gentle and just spit as their last resort when they're really angry or really scared. Okay, so we should know that. And I will say...
So then that means you don't have to be afraid when you're feeding them, Sienna.
I know, I got a little afraid. Okay, what was so great about this tour is we didn't realize how much hands-on we were going to have with these animals. Right.
And we'll tell you where we went. So in case you want to try this.
Yes, go.
Yeah, and you're in the area.
Go. And Okay, so before we talk more about the feeding situation, because you can set that up and tell them about how the feeding went.
Okay.
I do want to say that I started to panic the day before we had scheduled to go to this ranch, because I started thinking that, oh my God, I don't think I was responsible in choosing this gift. And I started to feel like, I wonder if they're horrible to the alpacas, because I don't know about alpacas. And I really thought, oh, this would be a great fun gift. But I didn't really think through what is happening on this ranch.
So then you started to research. So then you started wondering, are we going to a puppy mill for alpacas?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. But
we didn't.
Here's what's fantastic. These people were so nice, and they knew so much, and you could tell they loved the animals so much. And one of their things was that every single animal has value. Even if, say, an alpaca is born and their wool is not of that super fine or even royal quality, every animal has value. And they believe that. And you could feel it from them. So I was happy to hear that.
And they have a place in this functioning ranch.
Yes,
like they give them a role,
a job
that still
helps
that still the whole
matters.
Community. Yes,
absolutely. Yes. So I love that, and also that they have a cap on the breeding, so they're not just breeding just to do that. So that was important, but also I discovered that when they shear them, first of all, they only do it once a year, which is great. But I also found out that for alpacas, they need to be sheared. So it's not like they're just, taking this animal for their wool. They need to be sheared because alpacas can get mold underneath their wool, and their wool can get very matted. So they're sheared once a year in May.
Yeah.
And so I felt like, okay, this is a nice little, arrangement here.
Right.
For these animals.
Yeah, alpacas have been domesticated for thousands of years now. So they have a symbiotic relationship with Homo sapiens. So yeah, they need to be sheared.
Yes. Yeah. So I felt better about that. But why don't you tell them about the surprise of the feeding activity?
Okay, well, before we get to that, I wanted to share.
Oh my gosh, did you see? I'm sorry. Do you see how
long we've been talking about alpacas?
And we have the whole other thing we're talking about.
Okay, so let me be quick about this.
Well, no, you don't have to be
First,
quick.
I just want to go back to the sound that they make.
Yes.
And just note that sound that they make is not only cute sounding, but it's also at a perfect cute volume. It's not loud.
Yes.
It's not too loud. Like a duck makes a cute sound, like quack, 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 but it's kind of loud.
Right. It pierces.
But the alpaca sound is cute, and it's at a nice volume.
Yeah. That's very true. How do I turn
the sound in your ears down?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy.
I'm sorry. It feels a little loud today.
Okay. Maybe I'm getting excited. The other thing we learned was that an alpaca, when an alpaca becomes pregnant, it stays pregnant for 11 months
11
before
months.
it gives birth. Oh my gosh.
11 months.
It's kind of long.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and this last thing that I just appreciated about the alpacas. Oh no, there's two last things. Okay.
Well, we didn't even talk about the feeding.
One is when the ranch owner, she called them. She's like, "Hey, girls!" Like she knew every one of them by name. They all look kind of the same to us, but she knew everyone by name, and she could tell us their personalities and which one would be the great one for the photo op. But she would call them, and they would come, and these alpacas would be way out in the pasture. Mm-hmm. What? Maybe
I don't know, but
50 yards at least, 50 yards away, I think, and. She would say, "Hey, girls, come on in. It's time for snacks or whatever, right? Come on in." And you just wait a few seconds, and here they alpacas come trotting in. They just come trotting in. And this is the last thing I'll say in my fandom of alpacas, is how they walk. They just have a willowy kind of...
They're so cute.
like graceful wobble.
They're pretty buoyant.
To the way that they
Yeah.
walk. It reminded me of the movie Avatar. I don't have a super exact memory of how those aliens moved, but it just reminded me of this magical, mystical kind of way of walking, and it's just delightful.
It was a great experience, and I can't wait to go again.
Yes, because we are going again.
We're
going to take some people there.
Yes. And I have a feeling
friends.
we're going to go a third time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
My cousin
more people. To take more people.
Okay, so here's a quick note.
Oh, I have to tell about the surprise, though. Are you going to say this before the note?
A surprise?
How you said I should tell you the big surprise about the feeding. There, I said it. It's not going to be a surprise anymore.
What? Okay, anyways. Wait, I do want you to share that because I think that was just so exciting.
Okay.
But I want to give our people closure about the family that they belong to. We're talking about alpacas, llamas.
Oh my gosh.
Camels.
Okay.
I said I was going to look it up because I was curious.
Okay.
So you're right. Camelid. Okay. So camelids are members of the biological family Camelidae.
Sounds like a pet food company.
You're thinking
of Canada.
Mm-hmm. The only currently living family in the suborder Tylopoda. It's beyond me already.
Yeah. Just stop.
So all we need to know is camelids. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's too much in this. It talks about the kingdom, phylum, class, order, superfamily, family. Okay, so anyways.
Thanks, Darwin.
Camelid. Okay, so yes, tell about that wonderful surprise.
Okay, so the end of the tour, the grand finale was...
That's true. Grand finale
was that the ranch owner, which was fantastic to get the tour by the owner herself.
Yes.
Like giving the tour.
Very true.
She had to sit down on a row of folding chairs. And then she walked along this row and handed each person a food dish.
A giant food dish.
Lightweight plastic food dish with little pellets and herbs and stuff in them. Food for the alpacas. And then she opened the gate and then a dozen alpacas come ambling along in their cute willowy way and just start eating from the
your
food bowls right in your face. And that's when Sienna got kind of scared because they have big faces.
They have big faces, and if you're sitting and they're standing,
they're taller than
their
you. Their
face is taller than you at that point, and they are right at you, eating from your lap, which you're holding the tray in their food dish, and then they're eating, and then they're looking up at you and wanting to put their face right next to your face.
And they have big lower teeth.
They do. Like there was one.
It's like buck-toothedness, but it's on the lower jaw.
It's like an underbite.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Right.
Kind of like an underbite,
yes.
right? And did you see that white one? That looked kind of, but the white one that had those really funny teeth. No, the brown one was in my face. He was really cute, but he scared me a little.
Oh, yes. I remember the white one with the funny teeth.
What's going on with you, right? Yeah. That one was a little scary to me. Yeah.
But it was just great.
But it was great. But I don't know if when we go again, if I will feed them. I guess I can do it. Yeah. I guess I'll do it. But I think you should do it because Toast opted to not do it so she could take video.
Yeah, I should do it.
I think you should do it, and I'll take video.
Yeah.
But then they also let you walk them.
That's right. And after that, I guess if the owner sees that, okay, these people are behaving themselves with the feeding, then if you want to, you can stand up and hold the little halter, the harness thing, and kind of just... The alpacas will kind of walk you. Right, you just hold on to it.
They won't
we'll just
move.
hold on to it.
Yeah, you're really not walking them.
And then if they move, then you move.
Yeah.
But they're just so cute.
They're so cute. So anyways.
Okay, so the place that we went to is called Marquam Hill Ranch, and we'll put the link in our show notes if you want to see more pictures.
So I know we spent a lot of time talking about the alpacas, but really we did have another message to share with all of you. Related. And actually it was really talking about our alpaca experience that reminded us of this message in a way, in a light way. So one of the things that we said in the very beginning of what we're going to be speaking about on this podcast is, how do you stay open when things don't seem to be going your way? How do you do that? You know?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You know what? I think that skill and cultivating a kind of culture that supports that, that supports keeping your heart, keeping your soul full of light.
Yes.
Even when you encounter darkness and darkness gets thrown at you, right? That being able to do that, that's the secret of life right there. Right?
Yeah. It is. I mean,
okay,
if you learn the
story.
one skill, yep. Okay. Goodbye. Until next week. Yeah, you're totally right. And I feel like with the alpaca experience, I believe that the day before or 2 days before, you and I had been talking about just meeting more people. You know,
right,
meeting more people, but not just anyone. You know, meeting people that we've felt a connection with.
Yes.
And so the beautiful surprise from the universe in having met two wonderful people with, you know, connections and roots in Hawaii, it was just such a special gift for us, especially after just having declared that, you know, having that vision for what we were ready for next. And so, you know, that did require us to remain open and not just assume that, because we haven't met a lot of new people since being here in February, it doesn't mean we're not meant to meet people, you know, and that there is another force at work here. Right. So just a quick
sidebar for new listeners who may not know that we moved here, which is Portland, Oregon, in February. Yeah.
Yes.
That's all.
Oh, okay. So anyway, so I did think of a few things for everyone, ourselves included, to keep in mind. And it's so helpful to keep these things in mind as we move through life, as we do life, and in order to really do life well. So one of the things is there's 3 things here I have. One of the things is to really know your vision. So know exactly what you want to create out of your life. And sometimes that takes time. So to know your vision, but not cling to it. So be aware, be detailed, but don't cling. Okay. And we can talk, I mean, you know, each of these things can be its own podcast. But one of the things that the clinging does is it's a very contractive energy that doesn't allow flow. So sometimes we can find ourselves stuck if we are too clingy to the vision, the outcome that we are desiring. Yes. The second thing is to stay open. And what I mean by that, and I know you'll totally agree, Toast, is we need to have an openness. So just as we have a detailed vision and we're not clinging to that vision, we want to have an openness with this vision, because one of the things we need to remember is that from our vantage point, we cannot see the whole terrain.
Right.
But what we do have access to is what we can see and what we are feeling. And if we trust in that and follow what we see and feel and trust in that and continue on. Mm-hmm. That will lead us to the better. Mm-hmm. And so it's really important to realize that we don't see the whole terrain.
Right.
So what we think is the best for us might not be the best for us.
Right.
We can only see to a certain point.
Mm-hmm. So I love how humility comes into play there.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Totally. And then the last and the third thing is I learned about this phrase many, many years ago. It's probably like over 20 years ago. But it is such a good one. And the phrase is, all this or better yet still. All this or better. All this or greater yet still. All this or better. So that's a wonderful phrase to use when you write out your vision statement and your goals and the things that you want to create in your life, to either have it at the top of the page or the bottom of the page, or if you prefer to do vision boards and you're more visual in that way and you have images on your board, to have it up at the top or on the bottom right-hand corner, all this or greater yet still, because that denotes that openness that I'm talking about, that we need to have. So if we have a phrase that we can lean on that supports that, I find it to be super helpful. So that allows us to totally vision out, feel out the vision, to totally immerse yourself in it, to even want it, right? To not let yourself be afraid of wanting it, yet to pull the energy back to an open space, all this or greater yet still. Leave yourself open at the top, because again, we can't see the whole terrain, and we don't want to move from desiring to clingy.
And manipulative.
Yes.
The clingy I associate with manipulation and being over controlling.
Yes.
Right?
There needs to be an allowing vibe. So sort of like one of the podcasts we spoke about that we talked about expansive, what feels expansive or what feels contractive. So when you think about that clingy, desperate, God, this has to happen for me.
Desperate. That's a good descriptor.
That's contractive. But when you're like, okay, this is what I'm programming for. This is what I'm going to do. This is I'm coming from the vision. All this or greater yet still. That feels very expansive and open.
What that feels like to me as you're describing it, it really reminds me, and maybe this is how you and I might be different. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It feels to me like a true partnership with spirit. True partnership.
I agree with
God.
You.
Having right? Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Like having that openness, like your point number 2 about staying open. To what I associate that with immediately is I'm staying open because it's not all up to me.
Exactly.
It's I am working together with my however you want to say it.
The energy,
the great mystery,
the force,
with the ancestors, with the great grandfathers and mothers, right? Working together with the divine. I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this. And that's where the humility comes into all this. This is what I want from my small little vantage point of what I can see. But I trust that it's not just
you.
Yeah, what I can see.
Yes.
And there is more to be seen that the Great Spirit is aware of. So I'm working and I'm submitting myself to guidance from that eternal intelligence as well.
Yes, and I think that in a very generalized way, people tend to fall into 2 categories. They fall into the category of, it's not up to me, it's God.
Yeah, so whatever
and
happens.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone
like that.
Who has a belief where it is all God. At one point in my life, I thought that as well. But for myself, I've come to believe differently. So I do think that there are a lot of people who feel that way. It's not up to me. It's all God. And then that's one camp. And then the second camp is people believe it's all up to them. And they just have to know what they want and go for it.
And they're driven and they're going to make it happen.
But I've come to realize that we are co-creators. It is the partnership you're talking about. So it's both. There's a place for both.
Yes.
And when you can embrace that and really learn the tools, utilize them to their fullest, that's when you're really doing life well. And again, it doesn't mean that everything is smooth sailing, but you know how to handle things that come your way.
Yeah. Okay. This is reminding me of one of my favorite sayings. And this is like my saying, okay?
Okay. Should we tweet this? Is this a tweetable?
Well, this came about because I would always be troubled by the assertion that the world is perfect. Everything is perfect. The universe is perfect. And something about that sentiment just, I couldn't be like in full blind agreement with that. You're going to tell me, everything is perfect. And I figured out that I think the reason that I couldn't just be like, okay, yeah, the world is perfect, is because the question is perfect for what? For what? What is your definition of perfect, right?
Yes.
So the thing is, the world is perfect.
Okay.
For what? It's perfect for process. That's it. That is what it's perfect for.
Very true. I hear
Right?
you. Yeah,
It is perfect for process.
It's all about process.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if you can argue against that. I think it is perfect for process because whenever something happens, that's not the end of the story because something else is going to happen after that. Things are always in motion. It's a very dynamic place. The world is perfect for process. And so I think our experience of a quote unquote perfect life is one that engages in a conscious way with that process.
Yes.
And sees ourselves and our being, our entity, our organism as a process. So you don't have to stay resigned to the situation that you're in now or resigned to the way you are now. Because hey, this world is perfect for process.
Yes.
You can keep going.
Exactly.
Procession, you keep going. What's the next thing, right?
And something that I have learned in that, along the lines of what you're saying, using that phrase, like if we go back to that phrase of all this or better yet still. When I used to be more cynical, I used to think
in your process.
In my process.
But you have evolved beyond that.
My process of becoming, I used to think that catch-all phrase was a...
like a cop-out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to believe, but if it doesn't happen, then, okay, then it must be that it's going to be better.
But I'm just going to say
But I'm going to be... this is going to make
better.
me feel better, by saying that it's this or better. But as I have lived, I've realized that it is so true. It's so totally true. And with that, whatever does happen, if it doesn't happen the way you would like it to happen, that phrase, all this or better yet still, is real. So even if things don't go exactly your way,
in the present moment,
whatever is happening is for your betterment. It is leading you to better. And it is the process that Toast is talking about, and how we handle and show up for those challenges and show up for those disappointments dictates everything else that will happen from that.
Yeah, how we stay engaged with that process.
Yes, because we are
Great Spirit
creators. We are co-creators. So you don't just, I guess you could choose to just be resigned, like Toast was using an example of saying that. That is a choice. But we're always meant to grow and to become and to engage in this process and be an active participant. That won't last long. So it might be a part of your process. I'm going to be resigned. But then you will come, you will have that part of you. If you're listening to this podcast, you are into growing yourself.
Right.
So it'll be a drop in the bucket of your life, like, okay, I'm going to be resigned. And then, but you will.
And you will produce results in alignment with that resignation.
With that, but until you decide
you're ready. Yeah. But if and when you want to produce a different future
result,
then you can do that because the world is perfect for process.
Yes. And okay. So anyways, it's 40. We're 40 minutes. Okay. I was getting all excited.
I know.
I was like,
I'm
going to
excited now.
Talk about all this other stuff, but I don't think we have time. So why don't I just, I'll give just a quick example. I don't even think we need an example.
I don't think we need an example. I think we can
just leave it.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say a quick one. Just a really quick one, because I feel like, we said, oh, there's an example, and then we didn't say the example.
Oh, okay.
And then
I didn't even remember that.
We're not going to tell you
didn't
it now.
remember that. Okay.
That feels really rude.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay, but I'll just tell it in like 5 sentences. Okay, so I was in college studying social work, and I loved it. And I did really well in my program. I was one of 2 top students in my program because I just resonated with it, had so much passion for it. And my step after graduating with my social work degree was to go on to the master's program. And I never thought I wouldn't get into the master's program. And I didn't. I didn't get into the master's program.
I mean, if you were the number 2 student in your entire class, of course you would think you would get into the master's program. Why not? Why wouldn't they want the top 2 students in their master's program?
Right.
But you didn't get in.
I didn't get in. So you can imagine that when I got my letter, and this was all part of my plan, this was part of my vision, right? My vision for my life. I was going to then go on to the master's program and then keep going on and do some research and all this stuff. So I had it all planned out. And then I received my letter saying that I didn't get in the summer before the program started. And then I was like, what? I had no plan B. So for me, this is an example of a disappointment that felt way more than, oh, this is a disappointment. I mean, it was life-shattering for me at the time because I didn't know what else to do. And it's so late. It's like, where else am I going to apply? I didn't even bother applying to other master's programs because I loved where I was. I did well where I was, and I just thought I would get in. So anyways, so I decided, okay, at the time social workers weren't licensed in Hawaii, and I decided, what else can I do? So this is how crazy my thinking was. Why don't I apply for the law school in Hawaii, see if I can get in there, just see if I can get in. And then if I can get in, then at least I'll have something to do, and that will give me the platform behind my social work degree, because we don't even have licensing. I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a good idea because I would have more education in a way that can help my clients.
Right, if you can navigate the legal system.
Yes.
Right?
Because attorneys and social workers have to work together, right? So I thought, oh, this will be a great platform. So then that got me to apply, and I with the due date of the application, like it was just crazy. But I got my application in, and then I got in, and then I was in school. But here's the thing. So I truly, as I look back on my life, I see that me not getting into the master's program was the universe supporting me in what I really wanted to do, which was music.
Crazy.
And I did not know that's how removed I was.
From your soul.
From my soul. From my soul. Because when I was in law school, it was very stressful, and it shook me up so much because it was unlike anything I had done before, as far as their method and how you came to class and what you were expected to know and the challenges and all that. And I was so stressed at this new system that my friends started to see how stressed I was. And one of them in particular would say, come on, come, let's go singing. And believe it or not, I used to love music in high school, and I sang in some competitions there. But I let go of that side of me after high school, because it was kind of like, okay, that was fun and all, but now I got to get cracking and decide what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And so with this friend saying, hey, let's go singing, it's gonna help you with your stress. First of all, it really helped me with my stress so much. And I became so much more in touch with that joyful side of me and how I did want to express. So it's still a fifth chakra thing, expression, right? So instead of expressing about a case and law and various angles and points of view and what's right, what's not right, and how you can argue it, so that's a very vocal thing, I wanted to express through music, also a vocal thing. So I feel like if I had gotten into that master's program, I would have been happy as a clam, just kind of going on with my program, enjoying it. But I really feel like
another part of you would have died.
Another part of me would have died, and I wouldn't have gotten to feel the contrast that I did when I was in law school.
Like your world would have remained small in a way.
Yes, I really woke up when I was in law school because I had to be alert, right? You don't know when you're going to get called on. And then when you get called on, you're standing there for 25 minutes with the instructor. It's like you had to be so present. And I think that presence helped me to recognize how I did want to express in life. And it wasn't in that mode. And then that is what my reconnection with music got me to then study music. And then that got me to move to California. And then that's I got to meet you. Exactly. So, some might argue, okay, well, that would have happened anyways. Or if you're destined for that, that would have happened. But again, it's a co-creative experience. And I could only see as far as my next step is the master's program. So when that didn't happen, I chose another route that was so stressful. It reunited me with music. And then that really woke me up. So it was for the better. Even though at the time I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get into this program. Right. This was my life. This was my plan. So,
but life goes on.
Life, oh my gosh, it so goes on.
And life is there for you if you will work with it.
Yes.
It's for you. There for you all the time.
And you know what? I'm not cut out to be a social worker.
Well, because you're an empath.
Because my practicum was so hard because I felt so much for everyone. And it was hard to turn people away, on a Friday,
especially for an empath.
To live. Like, so
what is the book? What is the book about empaths? Judith Orloff? For people who may be listening, who may be empaths, and who could really
Judith Orloff, Dr. Judith Orloff. I saw her for a few sessions. She is amazing. She has a book out called, she has many books, but the one book that really helped to validate certain experiences of my own and really to help empower me is called Positive Energy. So we can put that in the show notes.
Okay.
But she does, let me just make a note here.
Just like how the dodging energy vampires helped people.
Oh my gosh,
Positive
Dr.
energy
Christiane Northrup
help people.
Yes. So let's put the energy vampire one here.
Because this is now, we got to wrap this up.
Oh my God, I know. I said that, that took more than 5 sentences.
That was more than 5 sentences, but that's okay. It's important. But I think this empath, it relates, right? You are an empath, so I can see how being a social worker would be really
like, is that in my highest
on you?
Is that in my highest good? Not if I'm killing myself to help other people.
You would literally be killing yourself.
Yeah, I won't last, right?
So just the fact or just the concept of what empaths are is not mainstream knowledge in our society, but I think it should be. So if you feel like, people call you, oh, you're too sensitive.
Yeah.
Then check this book out.
Check the book
Positive
out.
energy.
If you have habits where, like say at a movie theater, you need to sit on the end versus in the middle of a row, that can often be a sign. If you find yourself at a party and you tend to peter out at a certain point, you're like, oh, I just got to get out of here. And you love the people you're with, that might also be a sign. So, I mean, there's so many different things, and we can even have a podcast about this, but all right.
Okay. So thank you so much for listening. We hope you got something out of this particular episode.
Thank you for listening. And I think we need to end this episode because Toast wants to eat chili tonight.
That's right. Oh my gosh, we're going to make
and it's
chili,
so funny
you guys.
because you rarely have a request for like, hey, can you make a food item?
Yeah.
And the fact that she requested this, like this was a craving from this morning, and the fact that the craving has lasted, you must really need that.
I must.
And I'm happy to make that for you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's it for now.
Okay, guys. So if you enjoyed this episode, we hope you did. Please check out the show notes. We're going to put links in there. Sign up on our email list. Join Life Club. Do a review.
Click 5 stars.
And stay in touch with us.
Yes.
All right.
Until next time, this is Sienna.
And this is Toast, telling you to love life, live free.